Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 100K Bink or Bust Bankroll Challenge, where we are trying to take 2,500 and run it up to a $100,000 bankroll in 6 to 8 months. We are on day 114. We're clawing our way back. Bankrolls at what, 7,300 now. We started at 25, ran it to 10.5, went on a huge downswing down to like 5,500, and we've been kind of climbing our way out of that um, slowly but surely. So we got 6 tables of NL50 up, 1 table of NL100 up. Those are all the tables that are running right now uh, for these stakes. Uh, and yeah, we've been using hand to note poker tracker. Really good for study, really good for tracking results. If you're interested in a poker tracker, poker software in general, to study and track your winnings, highly suggest hand to note. If you look in the description, we have a link. Really does help support the channel. And also you get 10% off. So uh, yeah, check it out. I highly recommend it over Hold'em and stuff. I've had poker, what is it, poker? I think it's called Poker Tracker, and I've had Hold'em Manager, and Hand to Notes. Just like it's a little bit more expensive, but it's hands down just significantly better. Okay, I'm just gonna get the stream pulled up here so we have it. I've been going back and forth to contact GG to get onto the stream list so that like people at my tables will see the stream, but I just think enough people know about it already. And playing cash, it's probably better for them not to know about it than to know about it. If we were playing tournaments, I would have it for sure. But cash, when you're playing the same guys, in and out, in and out, in and out. Especially like the lower stakes, the higher stakes, the guys are usually a little bit more respectful, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, where they don't stream snipe when they're playing you. But you know what I mean? It is also part of the game that you're playing if you're choosing to stream. So we'll see where we end up with that. I guess we'll just complete with the King 10. Flop top pair. I think we lead out here and try to thin the field a little bit. Looks like we got the entire table looks relatively fishy. We'll check now. Side. Half pot. Interesting. We're just gonna let the ace king go, I think. He calls. I think we call because this guy is just a massive station. And I don't really see a world. I'm gonna lead here. I don't really see a world where he has like king, queen, ace, king, stuff like that. Um, Super annoying. That's fucking super annoying. Interesting play pre, interesting call on the flop when you got 4 people behind you. Unfortunately, he did bink the turn. I think leading is the play there because Deji Taranko can bluff a lot. Um, and it puts us in a really bad spot. If we check, he checks, he shoves, and even though we're pretty sure he doesn't have anything, we're stuck with this guy potentially having a really strong hand, and you're just kind of in a gross situation. So I think the block bet works really well there. We are just generally going to have the best hand with King 10. Obviously, this guy called with absolutely nothing and spiked his 5-outer. That can happen. This Priazin guy is like super aggro. So we're actually going to be taking some more check raisey and barreling type lines against him. And the reason being is that his range is just going to be weaker than most in a lot of scenarios. Uh, in this case, he probably just has a 7, or when he shoves, he just has a 5. But yeah, very, very aggro, very, very spewy. So you kind of just need to hit a hand against him. Um, but session started off really well. We doubled up here, and since then we've kind of lost a bunch of hands. That was the N100 table. We just lost that. Lost a whale here. Guy just gets there on the river. So against this guy, yeah, we're gonna be just like check raising and barreling a bunch, and we're gonna have to, if we are bluffing, we're just gonna have to go with like bet shove lines, I think. Here with the open-ended, we're gonna blast into them, and we're gonna bet here as well. And I'll just fold the 4s. This guy's relatively aggressive. Calling 4s there is not gonna be super profitable. Okay, King Jack suited, definitely going to 3-bet that. Okay, fold, fold. King 8, fold, 5 deuce, fold. Well, we 3-bet, and it went cold call, cold call. Uh, I'd be surprised if this guy didn't just donk shove or like pot flop. Multi-way in this pot, we're just going to be checking flop here. Flush draw, he probably just called with a couple random cards, thinking he was kind of getting hot odds, potentially. I think we can try to peel here with the 3s on the button. Yeah, just be folding that flop. Okay, so yeah, bet, 3-bet, hold call, flush draw calls. I think we just check here. That was a terrible turn card. Sorry, team. Hmm. So they lead turn extremely small. We're getting 10-1 here to hit a queen. Definitely calling that. We're just gonna fold here, unfortunately, but so this is just we just got to give him rope. Okay, pocket aces. We'll see if we get a walk here. Papa Johnny. He's gonna still. His VPIP's really high, but his PFR is super low. So in this spot, I'm just gonna actually fold the ace jack to him. And we get snap folded by Lover, so that's unfortunate. Okay. We're gonna 3-bet the king queen suited. I imagine this guy will 4-bet or call. Does fold. We stacked him earlier, so he's been actually pretty attacking us relatively heavily. Okay. It's a board we actually check a good portion of the time, so I'm gonna start with the check here. He does bet. I guess I'll call. Could argue check raising there for sure. I think we ISO'd here, correct? Yes. For fuck's sakes, man. There's like one card in the deck. The amount of times that rolls off lately is just tilting. Okay. He limp calls flop. I think we're just gonna be done. Even with our gut shot against this guy, I just don't think he folds enough. For that sizing, we have to call. This guy has an ace, I think, every time. I think he's just deciding if he wants to raise or not. So yeah, we check call flop, or we check call turn, sorry, all time, all day. What is that cat doing? Probably best to just maybe go double barrel there. It's calling super wide, so we're gonna want to try to ISO as big as we can until he starts folding. Just a second. Sorry about that. The cat's destroying my furniture. All right. Against this guy again, we're just going big. Ace 4 is a raise on the button. Ace 9 definitely a raise on the button. Sixes we'll just check. I think this guy will just play very straightforward. So I think I just like C betting smaller against fish almost 100%. Okay, I'll fold here. Fold a 9-4, the 7-3. We're going to ISO the ace-5 suited. And we'll be check calling the ace-king. Okay, fold here. Not a super connected board. Like, he has some 7-8s, some 8-9s and stuff, but he doesn't have a lot of deuces or threes. He'll have pocket pairs and everything, but yeah, for half pot, with the backdoor straight, backdoor flush, and 2 overs, pretty clean call. Definitely ISO the king-jack. Definitely calling over this half pot donk here. But we are going to let the ace-king go. Raise the aces. And we're just going to c-bet a double barrel a lot with the king-jack. Especially when we pick up that many outs. Interesting. So we 3-bet, he calls. Donk leads flop into 2-player. Leads in the misstuck. I'm just going to fold. I'm just going to believe him, essentially. Don't know what the tank is every time he's got a hand. But yeah, clean there. We just have tons of outs on the river to make a hand that we can value bet. Fold queen 4. Tables are very good right now. I could actually probably get another one to start. Okay, we'll raise the ace jack, fold the 9-4, fold the jack 4. 3-bets. Yeah, actually 3-bets pretty large here. I think I'll just let the ace jack go out of position. Ace jack suited, we're never folding. I think that's a spot where we just 4-bet or fold. We're this deep. I think folding is probably best. Okay, we're gonna ISO the jacks. He calls. As expected, he calls. Okay, we're gonna check back, flop. Checks twice, we just go for a bit of value here. Fold here. I think we have to go for value with the jacks here. Like 8s, 9s, like ace 5. Yeah, they all call. I think when they go check flop, check turn, and like call turn, it's unlikely a queen. It's more likely the 5 or the pocket 7s or something like that on the turn there. I should have just overbet turn, I think. See checks back flop. Yeah, because we're kind of just letting him win that hand. We will call the 8s. Better to call with a diamond, but definitely call the queen. And when we do bet this board, I think we go a little bit bigger. I would fold here. Wait 2 pair. Definitely raise for value. Fold quickly. This is a good spot if you overbet. We're going to ISO the king 10 suited. We do a lot of overbetting on the turn. I think the ace is not necessarily the best one though. We do get tiny 3-bet over our ISO. Then it goes call call. King 10 suited is fine to call here. Pretty bad flop though, unfortunately. Get a chance at a free card. We do not get there. Two chances. 3-bet 10s. Makes sense. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, this guy's not blasting with showdown value, so he's either just like playing a ton of hands, and when he hits, he's going for it. And when he has like strong draws and stuff, backdoors, gut shots, he's probably blasting as well. You know, like that hand will tell you a lot about the type of like spew certain villains are. So he knows enough that when he has like showdown value to just take it. And we're not going to see bet out of position into 4 players that are very, very weak and stationy. Definitely going to stab on this board. We do have some backdoors, and we just have a ton of hands that do really well on this board. They should never have. I mean, 2%, he could have ace queen. Wow, so close. Eh? We just had like 10s versus jacks one time. I think we do bet again here. I think he's just going to fold most of his range. That's not like 7s, 8s, 9s, or a queen. We're just done with the hand, unfortunately. Wow. That's one thing. Oh, fuck off, man. That's like the worst card in the deck right there. Now we're chopping everything and losing to every single flush draw. We'll still go for some thin value here on the river. Terrible turn card. Terrible, terrible turn card. Raise the jack 10 suited. Fold here, fold here. I know this seems super nitty, the ace jack there, but it's against a limp from somebody who's raising his entire range. So just a little bit too suspicious to kind of get involved with. And then you have another probably weaker villain who's actually ISOing to 4x. It just suggests relatively strong hand, and we're at a position. I think there's a potentially better spots than that. And those are spots here to be cautious of, where you're the pre-flop raiser and they just call out of the big blind. But if they have an extremely nitty 3-bet, they're going to have hands like king queen and ace queen and ace jacks and suiteds and stuff like that, where we're just going to be in a pretty bad spot against. Yeah. This is a good spot to overbet though. And we're just going to check raise sometimes here with the king 10. So all these tables are filled with very like loose, cally, or spewy players. So when we have that type of scenario, we're obviously going to be playing tighter ranges to take advantage of them playing extremely wide and like weak ranges. So we'll be playing a little bit tighter than we potentially normally, I guess, would. I think we're probably about even on the day right now. Right. And if he folds, we're just going to be shoving over the 20 big open. King 10's probably strong enough to ISO here. Raise here. We'll rip the jacks. And we're going to ISO the queens. Okay, we get another brick. Yes, we can run it twice. With the diamond, the backdoor straight draws and stuff, we'll barrel here. I think the queens are fine to just check. And I think we're, what, 70-30 there against queen 9? And Just chop it up. That's fine. So this guy limps his entire range. We check to him. He goes 3/4 pot. Okay, it's opening really wide. I think against the under the gun, we'll know we just call king queen. We do a lot of three betting with it. We definitely have to check call one with the queens here, but we're going to proceed pretty cautiously. He snap checks back. That's interesting. I think we have to check though now. Jack rolls off, and then the 8 rolls off, so we're just losing to pot. It was a little big. I think with the gut shot, oh come on, we can peel one because when we do hit, it's going to be relatively disguised, and he just likes to blast. So when he has like pocket tens, pocket nines, ace 10, ace 9, ace jack, ace king, ace queen, there's a lot of money that's going to go into the pot. Unfortunately, he dodges the first one, and then he gets this the ace queen on this run out. We just want a nice, clean river. That is clean as you could get. Check here, check here. Again, I expect him with like ace 10, ace queen, ace king, ace 9, all those hands to blast again. So we're just letting him do that, and we're just going to be check shoving. Not super quickly. We're not going to tank either for too long. Nice. And that's why you just kind of wait for a bit of a stronger hand to play a little bit of a stronger range against those guys, uh, and kind of let him blast off. Because that's a scenario where you might, if he has an ace, he's going to be betting almost always. Unless it's a really weak ace, he might take the showdown value line. But when it's two pair plus, or like ace king, ace queen there, I think he's just going to find a way to put the money in. And calling the river shove, like that's a pretty easy fold on the river to kind of get out of the way. We're going to check back one with jacks, give him a chance to pick something up. And then we're just going to stab turn. And then we're going to bet river. He probably just has queen X a lot or an ace high. Pretty standard. We open, we get 3 bets and 9x, date off calls. That's just an easy fold for us when that happens. He's going to have a lot of like better queens that are just dominating us. So we just put ourselves in a like pretty bad spot if we end up calling. So it's on a 100 table. It is really fishy, but we're like in a really bad spot. And now that our fish on our right has left, it's not super great, but pink pumps will give his stack away, I think, at some point. In position, he goes really small. Obviously, we just call the eights. And we'll defend the king jack. So against this cutoff open, like we don't have pocket queens, we don't have pocket tens. We have pocket fours, we have queen four, and sometimes we have like queen 10. Here we're going to go for the overbet once he checks flop. Villain goes pretty big here. 3 bets enough. I think we need to call one. But if he blasts again, then we're going to slow down pretty significantly and probably just let this go. He actually goes really small. But I think having the board, when the board's this dry, and a fish like 3 bets, bets big flop, and then kind of goes a little bit smaller on turn. What I find this generally to be is actually a stronger hand and not like a weak bluff attempt. It usually is like them going small and then like setting up an easy turn shove for like under pot. That's what I find. Uh, I think if he's bluffing there, he probably just jams most of the time. Okay. I think we need to squeeze here with the ace 10 off. I guess it gets an under the gun open. Yeah, I think we can use that pretty comfortably. His stats and our notes on him. And Denise is just way over calling, so his range is going to be super wide and just fold a ton. Okay, we got two overcards, flush draw. Obviously, the money's just going in here. Oh, he has a 5. That sucks. He's got a bunch of our outs, like, blocked with hearts. He did get lucky again, though. Okay, we got one out of it. Now we just need a club. Nice. We'll check back the 10. Leads out, definitely calling. Not a great river card. A lot of the hands we were thinking we could beat do get there. He now checks Queen X as well. So we don't have any ability to bet. We're just hoping he was sabbing with basically air. Or ace 8. Computer's been weird lately. Google Chrome and like my Discord and stuff have like completely lost their shortcut and it like won't come back. All right, fold 5-3. Fold the deuces. Fold the 8-2s off. So yeah, for you guys just joining the channel, we are basically trying to run 2,500 up to 100K and move our way through the stakes. We in the first 45 days, we took 2,500, ran it to 10.5, and we were playing NL 200. Then we went on a really big downswing. Actually, my worst downswing I've ever had in the last like 2.5 years. It was basically for 100K hands. We lost about 5 grand in it. Mind you, about 2,500 of that came from NL 200. So, you know, it's kind of relative to your buy-in size. And then we ran 15 buy-ins below EV at NL 100. And then we kind of just broke even for the remaining, like, whatever it was, 40,000 hands. So we just lost more to rake. The rake is heavy at GG. So that's kind of how it all turned out. Let's just think this through here about a double barrel. I think most of the time, like Queen X doesn't double barrel a ton when the jack falls. He goes pretty big here. He's going to be 3-betting. He's actually 3-betting pretty tight. I just wonder what's the better play here. If we just go after him or we just call and let pink pumps do something really spewy. Unfortunately, she just folds. We do barrel again. Right, he goes really small on this board. We definitely call. And now he checks. I think we go big here. Oh, come on. That's super annoying. LaRusso barrels again. I think we have call here. Nice river. We do lose to some boats. That's just would be a case of it is what it is. And I think here he likes to call, so I'm just gonna jam. Looks really weak. It looks like I have like Queen 10 or like a flush draw or something. We definitely call here with the 7s. We'll definitely just check call here. It feels like the nuts. But we call down, call down. He goes full, like it's a 1-pot bet. It really does feel it. It says pocket 5s are like 9-10 or something. But we just have to call. Yeah, it's clean as day. You can just tell sometimes, you know. The 7s we're just gonna call. Man, That stuff drives me nuts. He's got a ton of outs. I think it's a terrible call, but he's super stationy. He's going to run it once, and we're just going to hope to survive. Session defining right here. So no ace, no four, no club. Ugh, fucking suck. I fucking hate this piece of shit. Every fucking time. Well, he called a 2x pot shove with a flush draw and gut shove. Sometimes I wonder, like, what he's doing there. Laying that tank down and then calls with that. Or just, like, did you just run to GTO and run it? You know what I mean? They just said, yeah, call, I guess. Anyways, we got it in really good. And he managed to get there. So, it was a pretty bad run of events there. We got boat versus the flush. And then this Donkosaurus manages to get there. Honestly, the amount of times I've decided that I don't want to play on a 100 just because of how freaking bad we run is kind of silly. But holy man, I hate this guy. It's kind of my new like nemesis because he's like so stationary, but he just seems to get there every single time. But whatever, we get the money in good. There's not much else to do. Like just get it in so good. But yes, yeah, he's actually if he has the ace, he's got a lot of outs. Like it is what it is. We're still what? He had 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 outs. So yeah, we're still a 70-30 favorite there. All right, well, we got pretty good odds to peel one. Now we just have an easy fold when the heart rolls off. His best case scenario if he just calls. I think maybe we fold this hand. Check raises flop. The issue is the check raise on the flop. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense that he has pocket nines there when he check raises that flop somehow. If that's 20, then shoves all in. Like it just feels so much more like ace 10, king 10, queen 10. The fact that you have pocket nines is like fucking bonkers, to be honest. All right, we're just gonna rep the king now. He checks to us twice. We'll just go bet bet. And little Russo is like a mega spew if I've ever seen one. So I don't think you can actually fold this flush there. I think it just is what it is. It's one of those spots where it's like a huge whale bluffing off his stack, and he just happened to kind of catch it there. It's a good lead by him. We can't really rep the king as much. We're gonna raise the king 8 suited though. Probably down $100, I would say today, give or take. Just because of that big and 100 loss there we had, which is usually how it goes. If we're all in, that is. And then we just have to fold again. In position against the 9x, we do call. I think we're at the fold here. Just doing this table hasn't been doing well for us. Okay, raise the 10-9 off. Wins a hand, leaves. We're gonna give Papa Johnny a chance to blast again here. We'll happily call the queen high, or the top pair, sorry. Unless somebody else calls, then we can just get out of the way. But yeah, happy to just get it in here. He's been just blasting, so if we run into a better queen or a flush here, it kind of just is what it is. We are flipping, so let's see what happens. Good start. Eats up an extra diamond though, so that's a bonus. We do win the second run out, so that's good. I might as well see how things are going today. Honestly, like one thing I do hate doing is like just playing one table of a higher stake. Uh, I don't mind filling tables with lower stakes, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it just tilts me when like you're crushing at all like lower stake, and then you just get like you get coolered or they just like run super hot on you at the higher stake, and then you end up just you know you just lose all of your work kind of in one hand. We do call the three here against the lead out. We do just c-bet here on the queen queen nine. We're gonna do that with our entire range, so we're gonna do it with the queen. It's gonna call king tens and queen ten or jack tens and heart draws and ace highs and all that kind of stuff. So he leads into us, then checks. I think I'm just gonna go bet now. I don't think he takes that line very often with an ace. And we're just happy to like get to showdown with ace high here. Four changes enough. There will be check folding if he bets. Yeah, so we're down to stack. Should be up 100. I'm actually surprised it's like this low, considering how much 40. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so that was just a huge drop. We had a massive advantage here. It's a little bit unfortunate there, but drop off. Tables look like they're kind of dying off here. So when it comes to these types of tables, this is what you are going to see a lot. It's like just down, 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 and then a big spike, and then like slowly down or breaking even, and then theoretically it should have been a big spike, and then down, 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 and then another big spike. Um, and the reason being is it's just hard to redline it all, and it's harder to um, get villains to fold. So you're really just relying on basically hitting a hand um, and going for value and stuff. So you're just like you're just in more multi-way pots. So it's like your showdown winnings are going to go through the roof. Because when you do win, uh, you're going to win more. So like your spikes are going to be higher, but your like slow decrease is going to be lower. And it's really hard to do anything, but kind of just play tight and you blind off a little bit and then you just win a big hand. Is essentially, sort of the goal. Pink Pumps just has a massive stack and it's just running, pretty good. Case in point. We did have that cooler against Little LaRusso here, which wasn't very nice. But yeah, EV 100, nothing to worry about. We're down less than a buy-in, so overall, not the end of the world. Okay, we do raise the nines. I think we'll just turn our nines into a bit of a bluff here and c-bet them. Definitely check back a good portion of the time as well. So unfortunately, our table position has gone from not great to worse. Basically, I have two regs on our right. One I have like marked as a massive fish reg. Actually, we'll mark them with a red. So that is the fish reg. Uh, he's just like super spewy, super stationy. And then it's only money who's a pretty decent reg. But the issue is like now we're super far from the two fish. So what happens is you end up with a lot of like limps and raises, and then a lot of like ISOs and three bets from these guys, and it just becomes extremely difficult to get into spots with the fish. But we will take this one with fours. We'll completely brick it. We'll be check folding. He actually seems relatively tight post flop. Like the more hands you watch, the more you see like he literally like raises, limps in, that kind of stuff pre with a ton of hands, and then he just like kind of, unless he's hitting, he seems to be playing relatively tight post. I think we'll take this spot here. Okay, fold five deuce. Um, yeah, so things have been going pretty good on the stream and with YouTube. Started posting a few more shorts there. Our watch hours are getting pretty high, so I'm trying to um, attack the subscriber count as well and get that up. I need to get a new camera though. This one still seems blurry. That could also be just like my upload speed. I'm gonna have to look into that as well. King seven, we raise. Ace seven suited, I'll squeeze here. Little Russo three bets this with a small blind. We will be calling the Jack 10 suited. If he goes more than half pot, I probably will just fold here. He actually checks. I'm gonna bet there, and we are gonna bet up here as well. We just kind of have the nut advantage on a paired board, being the three bet aggressor. I think he four bets like aces and kings probably always. Uh, so like we can just go like bet bet shove, and it's, you know, it's just going to be extremely difficult for him to do much about it. Okay, and we're just going to be value betting here. I think we'll just go half pot, raise the king jack, fold 6-4 over here in the top left. King rolls off. So he didn't three bet pre, so we can be, you know, we can assume he doesn't have pocket nines, pocket tens, queens, kings, aces, ace, king, king, queen, stuff like that very often. Um, Still have lots of 9x. We don't have a super strong 10 though. If we had like ace 10, king 10, obviously even if the king didn't roll off, ace 10, king 10, we double barrel here. Um, I think with our hand we check. And I mean, he has some aces from like flush draws. He has some 9x. He has some king x that now checks because the ace rolled off. So I think we just check down here. Kind of see where things fall. I'm not sure if we, I think value betting there is probably going to be pretty hopeful. I think if we're going to put in another value bet, probably best on the turn, I would think. If that was any card, pretty much any card under a 10 that wasn't an ace, we'd value bet river. Um, or like, even if it was like a queen. I think if it's a queen, we bet, and then anything under a 10, we bet. Obviously, a jack, we bet. I think ace is the only card we probably don't value bet when he checks to us. just because he has a lot of king X that are going to check now, because I have a lot of ace X. I think we'll just see a flop at a position here against two short stacks. They can kind of shove over us a lot. Three bet the ace jack suited. Three betting like the ace fours and ace five suited are a little. I mean, maybe GTO still does it, but against guys who refuse to fold to three bets, I think it kind of decreases the value of one. We'll make a small three bet with the kings here. No action. Crazy to 4x open on 50 bigs and just snap fold to a small three bet. Okay. We are going to be three betting and squeezing the king 10 suited. He does call. Interesting. Okay, on this board, we're just going to go bet. He snap folds. Okay. We're either giving up turn when we bet there, or we're going bet, bet, shove. There's kind of no in between. I think that makes most sense. The only hand maybe we slow down on would be a queen. He has a lot of queens that call flop. And we don't have a ton of queens that bet flop, except for ace queen. We'll just fold to the 4x at a position. I think it's actually 20.5. I would defend the ace 8. Take it down. I feel like we've clawed our way back a little bit here. Just check right now. Yeah, I don't know. Halfway there. EV is significantly higher. But that's fine. So far, like let's just go NL. Is that off? We just go NL 50 this month. We've barely played NL 100 except for today. But NL 50, we're absolutely, I think, annihilating the field right now. Like excessive. Yeah, so we're up. EV's a little bit lower, but we're up 1,600 and 9,000 hands. That's like, well, if it was 8,000 hands, we'd be up 40 bigs. So we're at like 35, 36 BBs per 100. Then all 50 this month. Super small sample. Over 10,000 hands. But like, pretty much just a straight incline, really. A little loosey-goosey with the queen jack off here. Fold Jack 3, the 10-6. 9-7 suited will bump. Okay. We are just going to c-bet here. Again, not a lot of kings in their range. Dr. Jamie is just going to have a really random wide range that he's going to be calling with because he called as well. And I think one mistake that like Fish will make across the board is seeing pot odds out of the big blind, when it's multi-way, and thinking they need to call wider when in fact you have to tighten up a little bit when it goes like raise call. If you are just joining this stream, make sure you guys do hit that like and subscribe button. If you are looking for a poker tracker software, we do have 10% off Hand to Note in the description. It's extremely good. It really is. Helps improve your game a lot. I find it significantly better than Hold'em Manager, which I had for years, really. Okay, we do value bet the Ace Jack here against Dr. Jamie. Turn a straight. Turn a straight and he starts to think, which is interesting. We're definitely going to go here. I like to go small. And the reason being that it just keeps his entire range in. That has any kind of value or has a heart in it. Could actually maybe go bigger in this spot though, because if he has a heart, there's he's just going to call super, super, super wide with a heart. And he's going to call probably like 10 big blinds just as much as he's going to call 4.7. So it's actually probably bad to go that small there. And probably we should be going bigger in that scenario. Okay. Play for a little bit longer, and then that will be the end of the stream this morning. Just a quick little update session. So yeah, powering back through here. I think we'll open at a 100. We're probably down at a 100 on the month. Would be my assumption, but we've only played like 400 hands, so we're up $41, which is 10 BBs per 100. But EV is up, way more than that. Obviously, just it all came from that big hand, essentially, right here, where we'll defend the queen 3 suited, 3 bet the queen 3 suited sometimes. I think actually I don't think GTO 3 bets ever. We're gonna check here. And on this board with this hand against 2 calls, we just go big. Go big here as well. He folds down here, calls here. Confusing. So we're actually going to take this and be extremely cautious. When he cold calls, it's a really good turn card for us to check back and try to hit. Ace Queen gets there, so even if we were ahead on the flop, we're behind now. And for this villain to have called small blind, I think he only does that. Nice. Trying to induce little LaRusso there to 3-bet him. Because what do you call the overbet with? We are defending the 6s here. Nice. Like, what do you call that overbet with? You know what I mean? That's a very confusing line. That then calls an overbet in that spot. You know what I mean? I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna raise this. Because we got to put some money in the pot. We did turn a flush draw. We'll call one. No action. Oh, what? Yeah, I think we got to put some money in the pot there. I don't know though. All right, flop top two here. We're just gonna go for a barrel. He snap folds. Stuck in the middle. I don't know. Maybe it's better just calling there, but I think, yeah, I think we want to put some money. I think we want to put some money in the pot so that we can actually have a chance of winning stacks. With, you know what I mean? Because he'd have to turn a monster, and we have like bottom set. You know what I mean? So in order for all that money to go in on the river, I don't really know what card comes that lets him do that we don't end up losing to. You know? Like on this board, if he calls, like if we call river and then he bets, we raise, he shoves, we call, like he's gonna have 8, 10, pocket sevens, pocket nines, pocket aces, and then maybe like ace nine suited. But does he really call it through, like cold call three bet with ace nine suited? Probably not, you know. All right, raise the ace three suited. We did float this flop. I don't mind calling here. It's such a small three bet, even given his stack size, and Babar is just gonna end up calling a ton. And we're gonna happily put it in here with the overcard, backdoor flush draw, and open ender. And I think our hand just plays easier to bet here. We're gonna fold when we brick completely. Sometimes we'll four bet the ace three suited. Sometimes we call the ace three suited. Well, I think we jam here. I know we got two callers. Needle peen, like it is what it is. I think Babar isn't gonna have a monster nutted hand very often. Um, we do have a ton of outs, so I think just getting it in is gonna be the best play most of the time. I'm not sure I like betting here on the river. The guy's too tight to bluff, so I think we're probably better off to just let it go. That's the best outcome, though, is Babar folding. Yeah, that's fine. It is what it is here. I don't think we could play much differently, other than maybe checking flop and just looking to hit. But I think like it's unlikely he doesn't just shove his jack, you know. And he did end up having ace four and calling. Or where did he fold? He did call. And we brick. Fold, 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 fold. But anyways, so all stakes for today. Can't see us being up. And we are even though. Take it. This guy does like to three bet. We call like 7, 8. I don't call 8, 9, or 9, 10 very often because he has a lot of nines that are dominating us. But yeah, LaRusso is just a mega whale. Big, big spew. He's one that actually, like, I don't know if you can call him a whale. He's won the GG Masters twice somehow. Um, so I guess he has to have some portion of what he's doing, but he's definitely like a gross spewy kind of thing. So we need to be, I guess, paying attention to that. Jack 10 suited, we three bet a lot. 140 bigs deep. I don't mind calling some portion of the time as well. And we just blast when he checks back to us. He does call, so he just hit. He hit the turn pretty much always there. or check back like 6x or something. Nobody ever floats the overbet light on the turn when they check back flop. It's usually like, or they check back nuts. Very rare you see anything but. Probably better just to 3-bet realistically. Okay, well, it's pretty much going to be it for the stream. We got to get ready. I have a building a house for a lunatic right now, so need to get that out of my life as soon as humanly possible. King or 3-bet the nines, fold jack 9, and yeah, we're just going to sit out on the next big blind. Against LaRusso, I'm not going to fold to that. I don't care if he has the nuts or what. Okay, this guy just doesn't 4-bet light enough. I am just going to let that go. I'm actually going to have to check those spots in GTO. Usually my initial gut reaction is pretty close to what GTO does, so I try to stick with that as much as possible. And that was a relatively large 4-bet. Could suggest more like an ace-king type hand, but flop checks, turn checks. River, we hit the jack. I'm actually going to bet here if LaRusso checks. And we're going to go really small, and then if he raises, I'm just going to call. Because I think he's the type who will bluff raise here. But he won't do it with like an ace or a queen. Wow, that is a fucking hand. That is a hand to check, check, check. I still like our value bet and our plan. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys watching the stream. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Keep the updates rolling. Looks like we had a little break-even session this morning. Give or take a little bit. EV though, 3 buy-ins at NL50, so